Good afternoon. I'm back in the Berwyns today, first time in a while. This time in some of the more remote areas. Still a beautiful spot. Well, it's very heathery up here, so it's got hard work. Anyway, two tops to do in opposite directions, so I'll end up back where I started from in between. I'm not doing it in the way the Nuttalls book suggests, for reasons I'll explain later. But the first one is post Gwyn. So the reason why I've chosen to do something a bit easier today is that I went for a cycle last weekend and had a close encounter with the floor at about 20 miles an hour, and so consequently I'm in the process of growing some new skin on my elbow and my hip, but mostly I've got a knackered shoulder, so I've got very little strength in my left arm. It's getting better day by day. Well, I didn't really want to do one of my usual epic days out, so I was going to do with doing something a little easier and breaking myself in gently. Good news is, so far I'm very comfortable. There's no real problems. So let's keep cracking on. Well, the path up until this point has been absolutely brilliant, and if you follow that path all the way, it takes you up to the Berwyn ridge via Foel Cwm Sian. But the one we want to go to is post Gwyn over there, and now we're off the beaten path and hacking through heather, so hopefully we can continue to follow. I've plotted the animal tracks and stuff on the route on the OS map, so hopefully I can stick to them, but it's always physical. Well, it's not been too bad. You can make out these tyre tracks, or probably quad bike tracks for farmers who used for access, and I've been able to follow that all the way along, and it's been fine. So keep following these over to the top. As I've got onto the ridge here, a very broad ridge, the views have opened up and it's absolutely beautiful. Stunning day. Over there we've got Foel Cwm Sian and the kind of Berwyn at the end, kind of Berwyn. I think that's right. It's a stunning place, fantastic. Don't think I've got a massive distance to go now before the top, so hopefully I'll see you up there shortly. The suggested route for coming up post Gwyn is to come up from Pistol Raider, and whilst that's probably a nicer approach and the waterfall's lovely, it's a much busier area, and given the choice I'd rather come somewhere a bit quieter, and today I haven't seen a soul since I left my bike, so it's been absolutely wonderful. Not far to the top now, I hope. Hello. So this is the top of Post Gwyn, and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, see for miles. So I've had a break, had something to eat, and now I'm going to head back down the way I've come before we do one other little peak while we're over here. So let's head back. I'll tell you where we're going a bit later. Well, we've left Post Gwyn behind, translates as white pillar. Not entirely sure why. The only thing white up there was the cairn on the top. Anyway, enough for me to reason why. The next top is all the way back to the bike and then off to the other side of the road. Foel Cwm Sian Llwyd, and the write-up for it is a bit grim, and again they've got no plans to go the route in the Nuttalls book. I'm going to plot my own route, looking at a satellite picture, trying to stick to any defined paths that there may be, but it's a very heathery lump. But from what I've read, the views at the top are quite brilliant, so I'm looking forward to that. Right, I'm back at the place where the paths cross, and when I came from over there, or should I say I approached from that direction. Sounds a bit better. But this time I'm going to go, instead of back that way, I'm going to go up this hill, and that will take me, cut the corner across to the road where the path goes up to the next hill. Save me walking down the road for half a mile. There's still a little bit of road to do, but not too much. So the route in the book pretty much goes to the summit straight from the road, but it's a path just hacking through heather, I think. I've plotted a different route which follows this big track most of the way in. It's further and brings you around the back rather than going up the roadside, but it's beautiful, and hopefully I'll just have a little bit of hacking through heather to do at the end. Bottoms, getting cocky. I hadn't checked my route for a while, and we're going straight past the turn, and I need to take. Should have known something was afoot when I was going downhill. Anyway, I don't think I've gone too far out, maybe 5 minutes or something. I was depressing to have to retrace your steps. Oh, here we go. That was the turn in the mist. That's been mad on it. Looks like two tracks the same size on the map. Well, and the reason I didn't spot the track, because it's totally overgrown, nothing comes down here anymore. And so what I thought would be a fairly straightforward march up is actually reasonably demanding. Hello. Well, the path's sort of settled down now to sort of these open grassy fields, which is lovely. Joe, when I plotted this, I thought this would be a quick, easy one. Hasn't turned out to be that way, Jeff. I'm about a third of the way there. I suppose the first bit was quite a struggle because it was path was also severely overgrown. You're hunting your way through it all. Not really making very good progress, but now I can open my legs up a little bit. covering the ground a bit quicker, so hopefully we shall get towards the summit fairly soon. And turning around, maybe I've got a glimpse of it in the distance. What I have got is a friendly neighbourhood horsey following me. It's a pity he can't give me a lift. Whew. Well, I've reached the heather line on the mountain, and so the lovely grassy path I was enjoying before has disappeared, and I'm left with the tiniest of trails through the heather to follow, which I can keep following at the moment, so it's something at least not far off the summit. Turn you around. The top's just over there, so I think I go around to the back bit and up the backside to avoid the worst of the heather. That's the route I planned anyway. See what happens when we get a bit nearer. Wow, it's very hot. I'm very tired. Look at this bit of a breeze up here, which has eased the suffering a little bit. A bit further down there's no air at all, and it was reminiscent of that tough walk on Arrowneck back all those years ago. Whew. Right, I've turned off the main path now. That's a drop quite a long way down to pick up this grassy trail that I found on the satellite view. And now I pretty much go straight up to the top from here. I just hope this route is worthwhile, losing all that height to pick up the grass. Only time will tell. Could have just cut the corner and gone through the heather, but I know how grim that is. But this isn't looking particularly great either, so anyway, to the top. Right, That was the top of Foel Cwm Sian Llwyd. What a lovely place. View is absolutely spectacular. Anyway, been going for almost 5 3/4 hours. It's time to head back. Not entirely sure which way I'm going to go yet. I'm just going to strike off straight across the heather and see if I can pick up the path we did on the way down, but depending on what I can see, I might try and straight line it a bit to the bike, see how courageous I feel. Heather going down is a bit less treacherous than heather going up, so let's see how we get on, and see you back at the bike in a bit. Hello. Wow, made good time coming down. Pretty much straight lined it until I picked up this fence, and then I followed this fence down and a little track, and a normal track alongside it, which has been brilliant. Foel Cwm Sian Llwyd. Oh, a bit of a struggle getting up, but a stunning view from the top. And it's got one of the best names ever. It translates to Bare Hill of Grey Jane's Valley. What a great name that is. Anyway, I can see me bike. It's not a million miles away. So, I'm going to carry on down. I shall see you back at the motorcycle. Wow, I'm tired. Whew. There we go, back at the bike. Had a fantastic day. Knackered now, 6.5 hours, or just over. So, get kitted up and head back to base camp.